All right, welcome back to the Gentleman's Table podcast. This is episode 14. You've seen us interview myself, them interview me, and then we also interviewed Anthony in the last episode, but now we're going to be interviewing Jonathan. Jonathan is a unit on the basketball court and the football field. I'm kidding. He's just a unit in life, and there's a lot of cool things that y'all can learn from him, so this is going to be a very interesting episode. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, watch till the end. It's going to be some fun. So
till the end.
First off,
scare me.
Let's just give us a whole spiel about Jonathan. Give us your elevator pitch. Who is Jonathan?
Pitch.
What do you do?
Dude, what do I do? I serve the Lord. That's what I do.
You serve the Lord's chicken, too.
I serve the Lord's chicken.
Hey, man!
Yeah, I don't know. I think best way for me to answer that is kind of like my passions right now. So I think leadership and faith are like the two driving passions I have at the moment. I think it's cool because they're very interconnected. I think Jesus is the world's greatest leader that has ever stepped foot. So I try to model my life like him. But the day-to-day, I work at Chick-fil-A. I'm a front of house director. So I manage like a whole team of around 40 to 50 people with around 5 to 10 leaders, depending on the level, developing them into better leaders. And then I've got 2 real mentors above me who I learn from on the day-to-day, Isaiah and Jason, who I know we've talked about a couple of times. I know you've met Isaiah and Jason. Then outside of there, I've started going to a church like a year and 8 months ago. It's called Elevate City Church. It's really changed the way that I've looked at my faith. It's made me more outgoing and confident in what I do. But then it's also really helped me figure out how I like to worship, which has been really cool. And then I'm getting married in November.
Woo!
Super exciting. So that's like 7 months from now, date of recording, which is exciting. Doing things like cake testings, trying on tuxedos, planning bachelor trip. Very, very pumped. It's a great time in life right now.
Yeah, you got a lot of good things going for you. I want to touch on...
Well, hold on. Let's learn more about Jonathan real quick. You're in school as well. You work for Chick-fil-A, and you have other hobbies and passions other than, I know you go to church a lot. You watch a lot of football. Can you explain all that stuff? Because you're still going to school and working full time and trying to hold on to a engagement in a relationship.
No, it's fair. So it's a lot of balancing in my life right now. I take 2 to 3 classes a semester over summer semesters as well, all online because the commute, I can't drive 30, 45 minutes both ways. That's just like a waste of time for me. So all my stuff is online. I take out some good things from that. It's all marketing and sales related. Let's see. I work like 40 to 50 hours a week, just depending on like the business needs. So balancing that with school has been challenging but fun. And then ultimately, the relationship stuff is a lot of fun. We've tried to squeeze time in here and there if we both have long days, or we'll go to the gym together just to spend some time together. Watch like a movie together if we're both interested in it, or if we're feeling tired and don't really have much energy for anything else, doing something like that. I love football. LSU, Joe Burrow, my guy right there. Carter and I get along with Joe Burrow because he's a Bengals fan.
Yeah. Non-LSU, but we like Joe.
We like Joe. We like Jamar Chase. Big football fan. Saturdays, always watching football. Love me some basketball, March Madness. Just a big sports guy.
Go blue, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, natty.
No. Although they were very fun to watch this year.
Yeah.
I think those are my biggest hobbies, interests, kind of things.
Pretty cool. What did you want to say?
Well, before I was so rudely interrupted. No, I'm sorry. I'm playing. No, I was gonna say about his hobbies and stuff too. Like when I was like, I want to tap into your hobbies and what you do outside of all that. But let's touch on what you do at work, because you are very young. You're not a lot younger. You're a couple years younger than me, and you oversee 40 to 50 people on a daily basis. How does one get to doing that at such a young age, and how do you feel like as far as like a leadership standpoint at it being so young?
Are you asking more so like a specific timeline, like how did I get to the position I am, or are you looking for something else?
No, like how do you since you're so young, do you like not necessarily have a chip on your shoulder, but that might be a little what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidating.
Yeah.
Being overseeing that many people at such a young age. So like, how do you go about doing that? How do you handle your day to day when you oversee that many people at such a young age? Just because I'm sure you're overseeing people that are older than you.
Yeah. I mean, I oversee a few people that are older than me. Luckily, the range we're at, we're surrounded by like 3 high schools. So the majority of, especially my team, is from the age of like 16 to 24. So around my age, I'm turning 23 in like 4 months. So just for perspective. But for me, it's a combination of a few things. I think humility is probably like the one that plays the biggest factor. So knowing when you can help someone and knowing when you need to call in like some bigger guns, like the 2 mentors I mentioned earlier. But then like on the day-to-day, it's like reading books, like leadership books. Happy to jump into those if y'all want to, like listening to podcasts, having like deeper conversations. Like Carter and I will chat about things at work all the time. Me and my fiance will chat about things, just like trying to understand things outside of work. But then what that does is it kind of develops a track record and a pattern on things that I know I can coach and things that I know I can help someone with. And then areas that I may still need to sit in while someone else is coaching someone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, for right now, it's mainly just like developing myself, working on myself, growing my mindset and things. And then if I feel confident to attack something or develop someone, coach someone in an area, then I will do that. And I'll go into what I know about that. Sometimes you mess up and you overstep. That's never fun, but it's always a good learning experience. And then, like, I think the biggest thing that's helped me is like shadowing an Isaiah or a Jason while they're coaching someone, or when I say developing, I mean like if someone's going through something outside of work, or they're overly stressed, or experiencing like burnout at work, or maybe they're having like some sort of issues at home, like what advice they're giving them and how they're actually holding them accountable to push through what they're going through. I think mentoring and shadowing my mentors while they're giving that feedback has been really, really helpful to me when I have to be in that situation.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So how did you get into the leadership role? I know it takes a lot of persistence and discipline and, being a good employee. And that sounds weird.
Yeah.
But how did you get there? Because it's taken a while to get to where you are.
Yeah. Okay, so the steps just for like leadership wise, it's like you're a shift manager, and then from there you can go to like 2 separate things, but for simplicity's sake, we'll call it supervisor, and then coordinator, and then director. And then there's like a few roles above director, but there's maybe 6 people in those roles. Like they're very solidified in what they do. So for me, I think I was 19 when I became like a shift manager, maybe even 18. And that just kind of started with basic leadership stuff. Like, hey, do you know how to lead yourself like outside of here? So like, are you a dumbass, or are you like actually responsible? So they figure that out. You know the basics of the business. They'll promote you to that. Then the next step above that is more so like leading others. Like, do you have the basics to lead others? Can you grow your influence? Are you leading with care? Those kind of things. So in between that process, I think it was probably a 9-month process from being a shift manager to going to a supervisor. Okay. And for me, I kind of wanted to stay at that level. I didn't really see myself going higher than that because I was just going to go to college and then pursue my career, probably in like sales or something. And then I think I realized that what I was learning at Chick-fil-A was actually so much more valuable than what I was learning at college. So what I did was start working 40 to 50 hours a week at my job, and then cut my classes in half. So instead of being full-time, I'm part-time, with like 6 to 9 credit hours a semester. So I knew it would be pretty much doubling my length in college, which I kind of had to bite the bullet on. But ultimately, it helped me lean into my leadership skills and my ultimate development of like knowing more about business and management and those kind of things.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
And
because I did the same things.
Yeah, and I think it's such an interesting like route to take. But I'm very, very grateful that like
I think more people are doing that lately, like choosing work over traditional 4-year college.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of, just me and my surroundings, I see a lot of people choosing going into work and then doing college part-time because they can gain the experience at work while slowly chipping away at their degree. So they're going into the workforce with that experience.
I think COVID did that low key.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's because of
Online
all the
school.
online school. Because that's what I do. I do online school. I take, like you, 6 to 9 credit hours a semester, and I work 40, 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
But I learn a lot more at work than I do at college.
Yeah.
Just because.
Well, and like people, the joke is like, oh, you're fresh out of college, you need 5-10 years of experience.
Yeah, it's like, how the hell are you supposed to do that
Yeah.
without having a full-time job?
Yeah.
And that's why it's taking people so long to finish their degrees, is because they're trying to get that experience so they can go into the workforce with experience.
Yeah. Well, and that's my philosophy too. Like, I always think, if I'm in an interview and someone's interviewing me for the job and they're like, hey, why did it take you 6 to 8 years to graduate college? My answer is, well, I cut the time in half I was at college so I could fully immerse myself in the business side of things and grow myself professionally. And then ultimately I was learning these little things on the side, but I wanted to actually be able to learn them and apply them rather than just having mass knowledge and nothing that I can physically apply to my real life, And I feel like any employer that I would want to work for would probably respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So what have you learned and how have you implemented it into your home life outside of work? Because there's got to be so much stuff. Like you've said yourself, you've learned a lot, and you've learned more from work than college.
Yeah.
So how have you implemented that
Give
into
us
your
like top
day-to-day
2,
life
because I know there
outside?
could be a lot.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking of 2, so that's perfect. I think the single most beneficial thing has been how to navigate relationships, specifically with conversations. So I think I've controlled my emotional intelligence, knowing when I am letting my brain sit in that emotional side of the brain instead of letting it get to the logical side. And I think I'm good at holding myself in that, as well as like mediating conversations. I have to do that a lot at work. With all different age groups, all different situations, pretty much anything under the sun. So just being patient, controlling your temper and those kind of things, asking the right questions, attacking like the feelings instead of the person, or the emotion instead of the person, which really like lowers the walls. That's probably been like the most beneficial for my relationship with my family, my friends, and my fiance. And then outside of that, I think the idea of just always working on yourself, always developing yourself. Atomic Habits, great book, was probably the thing that solidified that for me. And then having a mentor like Isaiah, who I can see who's a few years ahead of me, who does all those things at a very high level, and I'm seeing the fruits that he's bearing. I would think that the communication skills and emotional intelligence, as well as the habits that I've built and the mindset of always wanting to better myself, are probably the 2 biggest things that I've learned.
That's awesome. Yeah. So seeing and being around people who are in such like fruitful lives and they're working on themselves all the time, like, and you obviously met your fiance in this.
Yeah.
What made you propose? Like, what was the big thing? Because that's...
Oh, man.
How did y'all meet? What made you think that she's like the one? I think that's a very interesting question that I've never asked you before.
Yeah, dude. First off, shout out. My fiance's name is Olivia. Very excited.
No, it's Jamie.
It's Jamie.
It's
Jamie.
Jamie.
My fiance is actually Anthony's dad, Jamie Hernandez.
Yeah.
At least you didn't
Knew
say
it.
my mom this time, so that's good.
I'm swapping
That's
over.
Step in the right direction.
I'll give you like the brief story. So we've been working for each other or with each other for like 6 months, and I genuinely didn't know she exists. She didn't know I existed. And then we realized at some point that we both went to KSU. This was when I was in person there, Kennesaw State University. Go Owls.
Hootie-hoo.
So we ended up, like I asked her one day, like, hey, do you want to grab lunch at like the KSU dining hall? So then we made it a
Classy.
habit.
Bars. Yeah. I was gonna say.
And like
There's
it was
risen.
more so just to like build a relationship, to see if she was someone that like I wanted to invest in and like actually put effort towards.
Because what made you interested in the first place?
I like where that's going.
Yeah,
Because you're around the environment of people who are all in
Yeah.
the same headspace. So
there's a lot of things. I mean, obviously, I think she's very attractive. So like just from like and I like a mindset thing, like why am I going up to her? Like that was probably like the first thing. But then her work ethic at work, just from like even like a young age, because she's a year and a half, a little bit over that, like a year and 9 months younger than me. So like seeing that was very, very interesting and attractive. And then ultimately just kind of like seeing her morals through that with like her faith and her religion, like the simple hobbies. Like I think we both had very interesting music tastes, which revolved around like kind of country music. We love Luke Combs. So like those are like the little things. I think she holds a conversation very well. So like at work, if we are doing something where like bagging to where you're really just talking to the person next to you, we were able to hold conversations very well. And it was like more of like a high intellect, which is what I was looking for, not just a like shooting the shit type of conversation.
That's so cool.
So yeah, I think that's ultimately what was like after work that one day I was like, hey, you want to
Hit the KSU dining hall.
At the KSU dining hall. So yeah, like that's how we met and everything.
Yeah. What made you think she was like the one, like all of that together combined? I guess you learned over the years.
Yeah, I mean, like, so over the years we dated for like 3 years, a little bit less than that before I proposed. So like I think 2 years and 11 months. And over that time, like I watched all of the things that I mentioned before just grow and continue to grow. I watched her challenge herself in ways that I didn't expect, and that have really shown fruits. I've watched her like work on herself at work. Her work ethic has stayed the same and grown throughout the entire time I've known her. She's persevered through some personal things as well, and like how she holds herself has never really changed. It's only gotten better. And then like those conversations, I love having like the deeper conversations. Like I'm good with small talk, but I want to get into the deep of it, and she does too. And so a lot of the times we'll jump into those things. And ultimately what made me realize that I want to propose is the fact that when we started talking about like a life and a family, we were very, very aligned on those things. So like wanting to have kids, wanting to have them like younger, wanting to be the best parents we could be, not because we were raised poorly, but because we wanted to give back and ultimately like serve God in that way. And so our primary focus has just been like, how can we be the best husband and wife to each other, and how can we be the best mother and father to our future kids?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude.
So
very, very
you
exciting.
talk about your faith a lot, which is awesome. I respect that. How does your faith tie into everything, especially like at work, how you lead, things of that nature?
Yeah. Well, it's very cool because like working at Chick-fil-A, you can be a lot more open with your faith. So for like more of a specific example, if I ever have to give like feedback to someone or meetings, or if someone's going through a hard time, I'll ask them like, hey, like, do you believe, like, are you religious? And if they say no, then I'll go down like a different path and just try to help them in a different way. But if they say yes, then I'll ask to like pray for them. And a lot of the times that really lowers walls and like shows them that you're not just doing this because you work with them, but showing them because like they're a child of God and because you really care for them. And like that's probably the thing I love the most about my job, is just being able to show that like unwavering care towards like the people I work with. And it's in an environment that I can do that with my faith. And I'm not always gonna have that. It's something I want from like my future jobs, but like realistically, I know it's maybe not always something I'm gonna have. So like using it to the best of my ability right now, learning how to do that in the best way to where I can actually like see the fruits in someone else. But like just letting them know they're cared for and they're loved, because you never know what someone's got going on outside of there.
I know that's your favorite thing, is talking about discipleship all the time. Is there any other ways that you kind of use your faith to be a disciple and bring people to Jesus? Like
inside of work or just in general?
Just in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I've had goals for a while. I don't know like how open you're getting to this, but like I've invited you to church a lot, and I've very, very blessed with the way that I've seen it flourish in your life. And I'm very happy that like, tell me if I'm oversharing, but like you bought like a Catholic Bible this year, which was super cool. And now like you're going back to like your Catholic mass and everything. And like the way that we've had conversations, I can just see that it's more on like the top of your brain. It's something like you're always thinking about, which has just been really, really cool in our relationship. I don't necessarily know if that's like a discipleship relationship, but it has been something where I'm just like incredibly overwhelmed and grateful that like my best friend is someone that is now seeing a lot of the things that I see in a very similar way, and we can have those deeper conversations that I enjoy. And then like outside of that, I really am trying to like bring someone really close to me to Christ that hasn't always been the most into like religion or everything like that. And so like that's been kind of my big goal for like this year, is seeing if I can like how I can do that, what I can do with that. And so it's talking to mentors, talking to friends. Hey, what do you think would work in this area? How do you think I should approach this? This is what I've done in the past. This is what hasn't worked, kind of thing. And then from that, I mean, just like outside of work, just really, really trying to be a good steward. Like, if I can help someone, I really want to. If I can give someone just a motivational word of encouragement, like I will. Like if I see someone in the gym hitting something like I know I couldn't hit, I'll be like, dude, that's impressive, like good stuff. Or if I like someone's outfit, like I'll make sure to just like, you know, let them know, like just really bringing that like upbeat vibe up there, because then if it sparks a conversation, then like you can go into it with good intentions about faith.
It doesn't cost anything to be nice.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, that's awesome. I will say you are like one of the main reasons that I have been brought back to faith. So I appreciate you. Yeah, and it's been like awesome being in the same apartment, because iron sharpens iron, and that shit is real as fuck. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
Oh, I appreciate you,
bro.
So how does that dynamic work between the two of you? Because I know me and him are Catholic and you are not. So as I know it's like essentially the same thing.
I love that you brought this up. Okay, here's my philosophy. I am not a theologian, okay? I like theology, but I would not be able to tell you everything that the Presbyterian Church or the Baptist Church or the Catholic Church believes.
Like Elliot?
Like Elliot, yeah.
Why'd you say like Elliot? No, he knows everything.
No. He's so good at it.
That's no shade to Elliot.
No, it's not shade at all. It's just he's all-knowing.
He's all-knowing.
And you just started learning about it like very lately.
It's so impressive, dude. He's always been like that. Like he always has been knowledgeable.
He's just hyper... I don't want to say autistic, but like he's like hyper focused on certain stuff.
You said that.
That's fine. He'll probably agree with me. I mean,
he's so
I feel like we've said that before, and he has said that. But
like for me, like the Protestant and Catholic stuff really doesn't change much of like the conversation. The way I see discipleship is I'd rather disciple a non-believer to be a believer than a different sect of believer to be my sect of believer, because I think you're saving someone versus like just trying to convert someone. And I would way rather put my time into making sure this person is, you know, following the good paths that Jesus has laid out for us, like in his book, in the Bible, like all the good moral codes and the good teachings and followings that we can learn from that. I'd rather get someone in that line than talk about the specifics of Catholic versus Protestant or Presbyterian versus Baptism or Baptist. Like, that's mainly where my interest lies. So realistically, I may, you know, in years to come, find time to dive into the theology of stuff and like really just decipher like the Catholic versus Protestant views. But as of right now, like my focus is more so on people that are like straying away from Christ, that like I want to see in heaven, you know, like these are the people I mean, it's your salvation. Like that's it. You can't buy that. Right. You know?
If I could add to it, I feel like you are more a lot like you want people to believe in Jesus and come to God, but you're more of that like in your whole life, like just being more mature and being a better person in general is something that even if they don't believe it's better off that way. Yeah. So, but
there's a book called Lead Like Jesus.
Yeah.
One of the greatest books I've ever read, probably top 3 with Atomic Habits. And I think, the third one's, it's hard to choose. But we'll leave it at those 2 for now if we want to get into it. Never Split the Difference is probably the third one. It's the FBI Negotiator. Great book.
Oh, yeah, that's I've heard of that book. Yeah.
Like I think it's so important to be focused on the relationship of you and Christ or you and God versus the theology logical side of things. I think we touched on this like last episode of like the evidence and like, you know, being what was the word we used? Not worried, but like questioning. But I would way rather get someone to develop that relationship with Christ, you know, make sure they're praying and talking to him regularly rather than hey, make sure you do all your studies on Baptists before you convert to, baptism or Catholicism. Like, no, like just develop that relationship first, and like your curiosity will most likely strike you to look into the other things.
Right. I was more meaning like building your body as a temple, and then eventually you come to Christ because of that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's valid with anybody.
Yeah. I think Isaiah lays that out perfectly as well. One of the things that he told me that, like, I'll never forget is, like, you have to have something, some skill, some trait, something that people are going to want to look up to you and follow you. And so for Isaiah, it's like he, hits the gym. He's massive, right?
Yeah.
So people look up to him. They're like, of course I'm going to listen to you and respect you. If I have anything I want to know about the gym or dieting, like, I'm going to ask you.
I had a fire verse of the day on that the other day. I wish I could remember it. It was saying something like, if you're going to do something with your hands or like have a skill, like do it with all of your might and power and like everything you have put into it. And that's like the godliness part of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I would have to find it.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. But yeah, I think like for me, I'm very, very similar in that way where it's just like, I'm by no means massive or someone that people are like looking up to the gym, but I feel like I live a very like habitual and consistent, lifestyle of like progressing forward and moving forward, and I try to lead people in like the ways that I know like people look up to me in, and ultimately just continuing to develop myself to be someone that people look up to.
And I feel like that helps, especially if, like you said, bringing someone to Christ, that even if they're not believers, them seeing you do what you do on a daily basis, like even just at the gym or mentoring at work or school or all the other things that you have going on, they're going to subconsciously tie that to, like, hey, you're doing this in the name of the Lord. I want to be like this person.
Or they question it.
Or they
and
question
then it brings
it.
up the conversation, like he was saying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, definitely some of my favorite conversations come from those people who are like, why do you do this? But it is a hard mindset to overcome of like, because people aren't just going to gradually come up to you and be like, oh man, I love the way you live your life. Like, do you follow Jesus? Like, that's just not a realistic conversation. And like,
no, but
it's like in my years, it's happened twice to me. Like in the past 3.5 years, it's happened twice. I'm actually very impressed with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like both of them, like genuinely, like mind altering, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this person thinks this of me.
Like aha moment.
Yeah, literally. But outside of that, it truly is like sometimes having to push. And then when you build more of a relationship and like you have more of a deeper conversations with people, then they'll ask those questions and be like, oh wow, like that makes sense why you do that.
So if you were to try and like help someone else or teach someone else to go out and be more of a disciple themselves, how would you start that? Or how would you like give them an instructions or a direction sheet, I guess, on how to begin being a better disciple? Yeah.
There's so many different ways you could go with that.
I don't think there's a set of directions.
Well, no, how would you start?
Somebody.
How would you start being a better disciple? Because it's really hard for people nowadays to talk about that or even like wear a cross or a Jesus shirt or anything like that. Like,
I think it starts with confidence. So like there's something that we talk about at work that Isaiah and Jason had taught me, which is like the confidence equation. So what that is it's your worth in God. So knowing that your worth, so if you struggle with self-worth, knowing that the only person who can who your worth matters. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering that. The only person who gives you worth is God. And so if you know that and you feel that deep down, then that is ultimately the first step in your confidence. So like your self-worth doesn't come from how you look or how others perceive you or how you perceive yourself, but it comes from God. So you know that you're a child of God and you're put on this earth with a purpose. That is your first overall worth. The second part of it is the hard things that you've done. So whether it's like, doing a Spartan or hitting the gym consistently or reading 3 books in a week or reading 1 book in a week, like something that is hard for you.
Couldn't read a book in a month.
Well, I listen to books. I cheat a little bit. I listen while I'm in the gym. But like the hard things that you've done combined with the worth of God will build your confidence. So the first thing I'd like see is how confident is this person? And then from there, moving more towards just getting out there and actually just like exposing yourself. But I think the first and most important thing is like your confidence in knowing that your worth comes from God, and then challenging yourself to do hard things. And those hard things can look like walking downtown and finding 3 people to talk to and just hey man, how are you? Can I pray for you? Or hey man, how are you? Like, have you heard of Jesus? Like whatever that would look like, it takes confidence to be rejected. It takes confidence to go up to someone and do that, because in our age, who knows how someone's going to react to that.
Right.
So I think the first best part of that is building someone's confidence to do that.
That's cool. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to lean more into your hobbies now. I'm going to
Heck
take it
yeah.
into a bit of a switch up.
No, I love
How
it.
did you get, because you never played football, did you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. How did you get so into football? I know how, but how did you get so into football, and how has it become such a big part of your life? Because you're like always waiting for football season.
I love football, dude.
Yeah.
There's so many. So I grew up an LSU fan, and my best friend growing up was like an Alabama fan. So every LSU Alabama game, we'd have like a party with like the two families. We'd go outside, play football before that, go inside. And I always remember like actually getting heated about who won or who lost. And me and my friend would like hold it over each other at times. He'd be like, well, Alabama lost this year, so like you're just not as cool as me. like things like that, like as a kid
Don't
growing
look
up.
at me. Like, don't look at me.
It's like, when was the last time Michigan beat Ohio State? Sorry, what?
No, we got belt to ass this year.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, this year.
Hey, but you
Not
had
the
like
past, like,
you
three-
had like
yeah.
a 5-year streak going.
We still miss field goals, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like my dad was always super into it, was always on.
Yeah.
Papa
Mr.
Roach.
Papa Roach.
Yeah. He was always like into football at a tense where I was like, how do you know this coach went here and this player went to here and like all these things?
Bro, he's
worse?
crazy.
Who's worse, your dad or Kane's dad?
My dad. I think
he's way more into the analytics, I feel like.
Yeah, because Kane's dad is a lot more like passionate about it, and
Yeah.
I guarantee you anything about Georgia football he knows, but
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
broadly speaking, like, and I wouldn't even say my dad as much now, because like he's just traveling more,
He's
he
too
can't watch
busy
all the
Yeah.
games, but he's
traveling
still
the
When we
very-
were a little younger, he was in, bro. Y'all had
Into
like
it.
3 TVs in the
Yeah.
living room, bro. Each of them
Yep.
had fucking
game
red
on.
zone on it.
Yep, it was so awesome because like on college days, like they didn't have like the split the game, so he'd have the TV on one, he'd have like a TV tray on the left side and another TV, and like his laptop on the right side.
Yeah.
So it'd be 3 games, watching all of them, and that was his Saturday. It was just like watching all the games. So
That's why he's so good at fantasy football.
yeah, what a legend. But then yeah, I think like now the reason I got into like NFL and stuff is like fantasy football. I love like the competitiveness of it, but also like it's our league is the 3 of us, our dads, my brother, and then like normally
Whoever
1
else.
or 2 or 3 random extra people. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun to see like who will win that year. We always put like a decent amount, like $50 each on the line
Yeah.
or something like that.
That's a good way to stay connected.
There
Yeah.
are 3
we got to do a
things-
punishment this year, bro.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are 3 things inevitable in life: death, taxes, and my dad sucking at fantasy football.
And it's always because he drafts the Georgia alumni or someone on the Detroit Tigers. He will not pick anyone outside of that.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
He's
No,
gonna
he
win.
doesn't.
He's
He's
gonna
giving
win
us
one of
$50
these
bucks.
years.
That's
Oh, yeah, thank you for your $50 donation,
He's
Mr.
gonna
Hurricane.
win one of these years, and it's gonna be the greatest thing.
Yeah, he
ever.
beat me. He beat me in March Madness this year, which I was
really?
shocked about, man. Yeah, because he had Michigan all going all the way, and I had.
That makes sense.
We actually had we had pretty good brackets.
Yeah.
Like I won at the dealership with my dealership buddies, but between me and my dad, he had
still beat
Michigan
you?
winning and I had UConn winning. So we had the final. Me and my dad both had the finals as Michigan UConn.
Yeah.
I just gave UConn the benefit of the doubt.
Dang. That's sacrilegious.
Yeah,
man.
I know,
You can't put
dude.
Michigan in the finals. Sorry, Michigan. You can't put Michigan in the finals and then not have them win.
I did. I don't know, man. Like on a bunch of other, I had a couple other brackets where Michigan won, but
Yeah.
my main one, I just gave them the benefit of the doubt, man.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah, dude, getting into golf and the Masters more too.
That's what
So
happens. That's what
interesting.
happens the older you get, man.
I know,
the more you
dude.
like golf.
I know. I still can't sit down and watch the Masters, but like I could sit there for an hour or so and watch it. But
Yeah.
I'm always keeping up with it. Like,
Just
I
the
wanna see who's
highlights,
winning,
because
yeah.
I can't watch it straight through.
Yeah.
I don't know any sane person that can just watch a golf tournament
You-
straight
that's
through.
It's
under
fun to
the
have
age
on
of
in the background.
35.
Yeah.
I think once you hit that peak of over 35, I think you could literally watch it all weekend.
Yeah, because my
Yeah.
dad does that. Like,
Yeah. My dad used to do
he can
that.
watch golf all day long. I'm like, dude, that's like watching paint dry, man.
Yeah, literally.
Like highlights is one thing, but nah.
Yeah. How is your golf career coming?
Oh, it's not good.
Who can you compare it to? Like Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods' driving abilities is how I compare my golf career.
But like behind the wheel, not on the green.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Driving on the green.
No, did you not get that?
No, I get it.
Oh.
No, I would
okay.
drive on the green
Yes,
with
that's
my
what I'm saying.
car with Tiger
Like
Woods.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You just
Doesn't
pull
make-
up.
Yeah.
That's how you get to the tee box. You tee off your car.
You flip the Range Rover and then hit a driver off the
Yeah,
off the exhaust tips.
because it gives you the momentum.
Oh, yeah, there you
you
go.
flip it into the driver.
There you go. Get some more yardage. That'll get you 500 for sure. Easily.
Real quick, I feel like we touched on this for just a second, so I'm just gonna finish this. Where I got to where I was at Chick-fil-A, I was gonna stop at being a supervisor, and then I moved to a different location. The place I work for has two of them, so I moved over from one of them to the second one. And over there, I was like really, really heavily developed by two people that, like one of them still works for us, or actually they both still work for us, but one of them like I'm relatively close with, and they like helped develop me and push me to realize like, oh man, I don't want to just stagnate at this like supervisor level. I want to keep pushing from there. So then I got promoted to that next level, which is coordinator, was there for like about a year, and I was acting as a director. And then I got moved back to the location that I was originally at. And within like 2 months of being there, they promoted me to a director. And then I was leading like a whole new team of people that I had good relationships with, just because they were like all like guys my age pretty much, guys and girls my age. And like ultimately there, like I've been in this position for close to a year and a half now. So yeah, I just wanted to finish that off because I feel like I don't want to leave.
How long
any
have you been
viewers.
working at Chick-fil-A?
So I started working at Chick-fil-A when I was 14 because my mom used to work there, but through various injuries of breaking pretty much both my legs and then not really having the greatest work ethic in high school, I've technically been there for 7 years, almost 8 coming this year. But realistically, I've probably been there for more like 5.
But still, that's a good tenure, especially moving up on the ranks so fast.
Yeah.
For how young you are and how long you've been there.
Yeah. It's been a blessing for sure. And like this is definitely the hardest job. I've only worked at Chick-fil-A, but the role that I have right now is the most challenging job I've ever had.
Heavy as the head, man.
Yeah. It takes from the physical side of the job to the mental side.
Oh, yeah.
So coming home now, I'm physically and mentally exhausted.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Dude.
Especially in the service industry, because you're dealing with people, but then you're also dealing with your team. So it's, you're handling the emotions from the customers, and then you're also handling the emotions of like your team.
You're basically getting caught in the middle.
Yes,
yeah, it's like
exactly.
life as a service advisor. You get caught between your techs and your customers.
Yeah.
And you just get the brunt of it.
Yep. Gotta
Yeah.
love the service industry.
Yeah, gotta love it. My pleasure, man.
Yeah.
You're just the messenger at that point.
Yeah,
I feel like as a
honestly, that's
service
you.
advisor.
You got it way worse than I do because you are. I'm not the boss of anybody. I'm the boss of myself.
Yeah.
And I got to figure out. I was like, all right, if my tech's not doing this and my customer gets pissed off, it's like they're gonna take it out on me, like being a waiter or a waitress. They're not gonna yell at the cook. They're gonna yell at me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's such a blessing though, because like on like some side, like if you see one of your like team members like getting like yelled at or someone being mean to them, like you just have the authority to be like, hey, can you go wait over there, and then you just completely take over. Like there's no reason that person should be getting yelled at or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which like as a man specifically, as a gentleman, relating it all the way back, like that's such a blessing to like be in the position to just help protect someone like that,
I feel like those are such scumbags. People yelling at teenagers working in a fast food industry.
Yeah, and
that's terrible, dude.
It happens just as much as you think it would. Like
more probably.
Yeah,
I would say
probably like for me, like on a normal like 9-10 hour shift, like happens like once a day.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on like how heated they are, but you always get some sort of phone call or some sort of interaction where it's like, what happened to you today?
And and especially in the service industry, because you can't just like meet them at their level. Like you can't fight fire with fire because at the end of the day, you don't know what happened. The guy could have lost his job. He could have gotten into an argument with a significant other. His child could be in the hospital. You just don't know.
Yeah.
So you just kind of like, I hate to say it, but you just gotta like sit there and take it.
Yeah.
And like you just gotta try to do your absolute best to calm them down, because sometimes they just want to be heard.
Yep.
And especially for the people in like.
A lot of the times they don't really care about being heard. They just want to yell, bro.
No, they just want to yell just to yell. They just want to get it off their chest. Not necessarily like being heard. They just want to take it out on somebody.
Yeah.
Even though if it wasn't their fault. And I feel like that's a huge problem, especially with where we live specifically.
Definitely where we live, yeah.
It's
the entitlement.
Yeah, the more upper middle class area.
I don't know. I feel like you get that everywhere.
You definitely get it everywhere.
Definitely get it everywhere. No, most definitely.
In a different way, though.
I'm just saying it's more common here than it is.
The stereotypes are real.
Yeah.
The Darrens and Karens are very real.
The Darrens, I haven't heard that, actually. That's funny.
I thought it was Kyle's.
I feel like Kyle's are the monster smashing the can against their head.
Or Kevin.
Punching
Is it
holes in the
Kevin?
wall.
Is it Kyle? I thought it started with a K.
No. So where do you see yourself going with your career from now, since you're in college for marketing and business and you're still trying to move up in Chick-fil-A? Where do you see yourself going? Let's say, what does your career look like in 5-10 years?
Oh, that's a great question. I think realistically I'll be with Chick-fil-A until I graduate. And then...
When's that?
It depends on, because I'm at like the end of my degree, so some of the classes are a lot harder to get, especially being online. So like there may only be one open class, and I may only be able to take it in the spring. So if I was going to take 2 or 3 classes in the fall, now I can only take like 1 or 2 because I have to wait till the spring, and then you can't take a class after that until that one's done. So it's a frustrating puzzle, but probably within the next like year and a half is like at least what I foresee if things go right.
Dope.
Yeah, for real. And then from there, like probably like another year-ish at Chick-fil-A while I'm like looking for something else or building networking or connections. But right now I see myself like going into some sort of sales job because what I've realized at Chick-fil-A is that I love people and that I want to work with people. I want to interact with people. Like that's what fills me with energy. That's what brings me joy. And then I think the reason that I'm studying like sales and marketing at Chick-fil-A is because I actually or at KSU, and it's helping me at Chick-fil-A. But I also see it as, I mean, to get someone to believe realistically, you have to sell them on why Jesus, why faith, why Christianity. And I think if you can hold the conversation, build the relationship, use the tactics that are very, very similar into sales, and your product is Christianity, your product is Jesus, then realistically it's a lot simpler to push that point across and be more effective with it rather than just like letting a chance slip because you're not as equipped to handle it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good way of putting it, actually. That was very eloquent.
Yeah, it's ultimately what pushed me back to sales because for a bit there I was thinking about being a pastor.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think there's things with that, like the theology side of stuff, that you have to know to be a pastor. Yeah. And as much as I find it intriguing, I don't want to necessarily live my life towards that because I feel like it goes more towards the different sects to converting to your sect, and like that's not exactly what I want to do. I want to make non-believers believers, and I feel like if I'm in a position like a sales job, I'm going to be around a lot more people like that, and I'll have a lot more opportunity to disciple to people like that while building my skills as a salesman, which will ultimately translate to like being a better disciple.
What kind of sales do you see yourself doing? Like B2B? Do you see yourself more like a car salesman? Do you see yourself as like a service advisor because he's technically a salesman? Like you are a salesman?
Yeah.
Maybe not as much at Ford.
Nah, I am.
Yeah? You still try and like push?
I still got it because even if it is like warranty work, still like there's tech still got eat.
Yeah.
Tech still got eat.
Tech still got
That's
eat,
bad.
man.
I think like whatever I sell, I want to make sure it's something I like actually believe in. It's not just something
you don't want to scam people. You're not in the business of ripping people off. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sales is like you're helping people. That's the way you got to see it if you want to be a real salesman. So if you're trying to find someone a car, you need to find someone a car that actually suits them.
Exactly.
If you're trying to sell someone a job for a mechanic, like you might not tell them, your brakes are completely gone, you're screwed, you need to do your brakes right now, you're going to be like, hey, you got like a month left on your brakes. Like, while you're here, just get them done now. Like, you're trying to sell them on it, but you're being honest and you're trying to help them.
Because you still got to eat, but at the same time, you want to help your customer, because that's how you always get repeat customers, is telling them the truth. I will tell people, like, I hope this doesn't get me in trouble, but I'm going to say it because I say this to all my customers, and I'll back that shit what I say. If there's something that we are offering that is outrageously expensive, I will tell them there are cheaper options. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, yeah, if you're here for one thing, I'm not going to tell you that there's cheaper options for what you're coming in for. But if there's recommendations for something, because there are certain things that dealerships charge, it's unjust.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lie, it's straight robbery.
That's just car
And that's not
shops in
necessarily
general.
the dealer's fault. That's Ford's fault. Or that's Chevy's fault. Or that's Kia's fault.
Yeah.
It's the car company as a whole. But that's how you get repeat customers, is you tell them the truth for certain things so they trust you. You build that relationship with people.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So what kind of sales would you see yourself doing now that we...
I don't necessarily know if I know like the definition of like what specific part, but more like realistically, if this answers your question, like I've got a couple connections just like within my family who are in sales jobs. I wouldn't really want to be a traveling salesman because I want to be there like with my family. But like local salesman just selling some sort of product that I believe in. Like I know like 2 or 3 people like in my family and my extended family that I could probably get into their field of work just with like a connection and then them knowing who I am. But ultimately like looking more just like building a relationship, maintaining that relationship and having that be like my main role. So like
You sell paint jobs.
yeah,
Like
things
they
like
literally
that.
go out to houses, you give them an estimate, and like you want to build a relationship with the customer,
Yeah.
and then they'll come and paint with you.
Yeah. So like that's like more so where I see myself as like being a like relationship builder for like some sort of business to make sure that they maintain those repeat customers.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That's a good one,
Yeah. It's still, realistically 3 years out is probably like the like most accurate timeline I have before I start transitioning to a job like that. But there's always things that could make that go quicker or make that, go longer.
Do you think you could? I think you could thrive in like not necessarily like a beverage distribution. Like you're not necessarily a door-to-door salesman,
It's
Yeah.
B2B.
but it's still B2B, but you could still be local doing it.
Yeah.
And you could offer them your services and build relationships, because I know a lot of people that do that, and you're not necessarily selling them because they're going to need it. You're
Yeah.
not necessarily selling something that they don't need, but you're still building that relationship with somebody and telling them the truth. In all honesty, I think you could thrive doing that.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll have to talk to you more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like realistically in like 2 years, I'm going to be using every connection and every networking ability that I have to find that job. And then ultimately settle on something that like I believe in and that works with what I want to do with my family and then what I want to do with like my life and like
That's
with my
life.
faith specifically.
Life is
So,
all about connections.
I know.
So we covered your career goals, I guess, for like the next 3, 5, 10 years. What are some other goals you have coming up?
I've talked about this before, but I want to be a dad really bad. I want to have kids.
How many?
2 to 4 or 2 or 4, not 3.
Why not 3?
Explain.
I grew up with 2 older brothers, and I think someone always gets the short end of the stick with 3 people.
The
Unfortunately,
middle child.
it could be the middle, it could be the oldest, could be the youngest. Like it depends on what it is. Like there were times that my oldest brother Jacob got the short end of the stick because he just like wasn't home because he was at college or he was out doing something else. So there's times that my middle brother Jonah got the short end of the stick because like maybe he wasn't the youngest but he wasn't the oldest, so he may have been left a little bit more alone. Or like there's times that I got the short end of the stick because I was too young to experience something, or like I was literally too young to go to something. So I think if you do it in like 2s, and then also like games with 3 kids was always the worst because you had to have like an all-time pitcher, an all-time quarterback, or whatever it was.
You know what's worse than that?
Being by yourself.
Being by your fucking self. Yeah, being an only child.
Yeah, 1 or 3. I feel like the even numbers are the way to go. But like realistically, I want like an older boy, younger girl. Like I think that'd be the best dynamic.
I feel like you'd be the best girl dad in the world.
That's what people keep telling me.
You're
But
gonna be a girl
dude,
dad.
I'm absolutely terrified of raising girls.
I am too.
Like,
yeah.
I would just want to raise a man.
Yeah. I feel like it's a lot easier to raise a man in this day and age than it is to raise a woman.
Yeah.
Not even gonna lie.
I think it's a blessing.
I don't know, bro.
But
Trying to raise a man in this day and age is definitely getting a lot harder than it has been.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could go into all of that. So yeah, we'll definitely want to build a family. I think something that Olivia and I have talked about is like not immediately jumping into that, like enjoying just
The two
marriage. Yeah, because realistically, the second you have the moment you have a kid, you don't get that back.
Out the window.
Like you retire and then your kids move on, but realistically, they're always going to be in your life, which is a blessing. But enjoying the time that like the two of you have together.
Yeah.
I want to buy a house, so like Olivia and I are going to rent a house at first, just see what we like, see what we don't like, and then save up a bunch of money while we're doing that, and ultimately like buy a house that's around here after I get that job that I was talking about, so I know realistically where I need to move, those kind of things.
So y'all haven't lived together yet?
Yes, we have not lived together yet. We've been very,
So
very.
you're going to be married before you live together, or y'all getting that?
So we'll get married at like the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and my plan is I'll move into the house that we start renting at like the beginning of November, and then she'll move in like after we get married and after our honeymoon and everything. But she'll be over a lot and stuff, but just more so like we're in the final stretch. Like we want to be like faithful stewards in that area, and we've done like a lot of things together where I know how she lives, I know she knows how I live. We know what we enjoy doing, we know what we don't enjoy doing, but ultimately we have a good work ethic. We're a similar level of cleanliness, and when it comes to chores and maintaining things, like we see eye to eye on those things. So I'm not worried about it at all. There's going to be adjustments, like it would be moving in with anyone.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Well, I was saying you're learning what house stuff you like. You're gonna have to learn what you don't like and don't like about living with each other.
Well,
too.
exactly. And
But-
that's why I didn't want to do that in a house we bought, because like if we just went into buying a house, I feel like there could be a lot of things that we don't get along on, or things we don't see eye to eye on. So
You never know. You might just get along with everything.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah,
That's cool.
that's also why we don't want to have kids immediately, because you have to figure out how to live together, how to work in a marriage.
Mm-hmm. Like any other goals other than house?
I
career?
mean, I think there's like financial goals, like continuing investing. I want to get a little bit like smarter with this stock market, because right now I just kind of invest with like what I'm talking to my dad about, and I've got a good bit of money invested, but I don't fully know the ins and outs of it. So like spending more time to invest in those things. I think like my faith goals, like there's people in my life that I want to disciple, or like I guess continue discipling, or make sure like
So you want to like build better relationships with certain people?
yeah, exactly. And like I have some of those people in mind that I just like I really care for, and I'm not going to stop until they like are saved.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those would be like my biggest goals.
Do you have any faith goals? Like, what are you going to do when you raise kids? How are you going to raise kids in your faith too? I feel like that's kind of crazy.
Dude, very, very good question.
How do you align with your fiance on that? I know you said you align like perfectly, but
I think like one of the coolest ways to like teach your kids about faith is just teaching them more so like the teachings and like the overall like moral code that the Bible gives you. Mm-hmm. So obviously introducing the Bible young, but not like making it something that's like forced upon them, more so making it appealing and attractive to where they want to push themselves to live that way in general. And I think like a really good way to do that is just like like the hard work ethic, like how it talks about working hard in the Bible, like the just specific teachings that you can give to a child of like respecting your father and mother, like honor your neighbor, like treat your neighbor like yourself, like the golden rule, like those things, like teaching your kids, raising them in that way, and then from there instilling like the more relationship and like the theological side of it.
I feel so leading by example first.
Yeah, I feel like that. Exactly. I feel like that all settles down to showing them what's right.
Yeah,
just by setting a good example. So because the kids are a reflection of you.
Something that I was told that like really resonated with me is because God has unconditional love for you, but it's completely unreasonable and unimaginable to understand what unconditional love is. So the best way you can see that is how your parents love you. And so you have a extreme responsibility to love your wife unconditionally and for her to love you back unconditionally, to model that for your kids so they know ultimately you're loving them unconditionally and they have some sort of glimpse at what it means to be loved unconditionally by God. And you have that responsibility as parents, as husband and wife. And so it's something that has really resonated with me when I remember like how my parents loved each other and like how they loved me more specifically, and how that like shaped how I view God.
That's cool.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Heck yeah. Do you have any more goals, or do you want to give me just like a roundabout of how you think your life will look in 10 years? I know we said the same thing to us too.
10 years, I'll have 2 kids for show. I'll have a house that I own.
Well, the bank owns, but.
The bank owns, yeah.
10 years.
10 years, yeah. Realistically,
if you're on a sales job, bro, on commission, you could be stacking.
Yeah, we'll see. Ideally, yeah, I'll own it, but probably paying a mortgage. The 2 kids, let's see. I think I want to lead a Bible study, have something that like I'm doing, whether weekly or monthly. We do football every 3 weeks. I would want something like that consistently in my life, just sports of some kind. Just staying athletic.
Or community.
Yeah, community, yeah. And like I think that for me is the easy way to correlate it with Bible study, like doing both of them. And then like definitely consistent in the gym. I think continuing to have those numbers. I don't know what weight I'll be at as a dad. For a while my goal has been like 180 lean. So like for the wedding I want to be 170 lean, which is going to be very challenging, but like overall that's probably like where I see myself being a homeowner, thriving in my career, probably 3 to 5 years in that career at that point, having 2 kids, still doing like a Bible study or some sports event like once a month kind of thing, but ultimately working on myself, developing myself with my relationship in Christ and like just as a man and as a father.
You know who else has a Bible study?
My mom!
Quite literally. Is that the one that my mom goes to?
Probably.
I think it's on Mondays.
No, it's on Thursdays.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Mrs.
Cool.
Hernandez. We haven't shouted her out in a while.
Yeah, it has been a minute. Shout out.
Such a God-fearing woman.
I think we literally did shout her out last time.
Shout out.
Maybe. She deserves it. So.
God,
fuck. Hey, yo. All right, Anthony, do you have
she's
any?
working from home this week.
Jonathan, do you have any tidbits that you'd like to share before we end things off here?
Well, do you have, let's say if there was a viewer watching, what's like the one code of Jonathan wisdom that you've learned throughout your life so far that you might give someone who's struggling at this age or maybe a little bit younger a few years back? What's something someone can learn from this podcast or take away from it? From you.
There's so many ways you could take that. I feel like probably the thing that has helped me the most is the Kobe Bryant, like make yourself 1% better every day. Like if you do that and you just, pick something that you want to grow in that day, that week, that month, whatever it is, and you're just constantly growing yourself, you'll absolutely see the fruits. Something that has like really stuck with me recently is, let's say today you plant a seed and tomorrow you wake up and the seed hasn't sprouted, but you plant a seed again and it doesn't sprout. Let's say you do that for 500 days and you've planted seeds. Then day 501, that seed sprouts. And then guess what's going to happen on 502? The second seed's going to sprout. And then you're still planting seeds, but now you're getting all of the benefits of the 500 days that you were planting seeds. So you're just going to have this massive farm of investments that you've put into yourself. So you're not going to see the fruits from day one, but absolutely start planting the seeds.
That's a good analogy, like the mustard seed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heck yeah. Well, appreciate you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to say before we hop off the pod?
I don't know. Love the Lord with all your heart. It's absolutely what we're here for. So that's
Let's
probably
go.
the biggest
Heck
thing.
yeah.
All right. Well, it's been the Gentleman's Table. Can you do it? I don't want to do it. It's been the Gentleman's Table podcast. We'll see you all in the next one.